Well, it's the biggest controversy of the IPL this season. West Indian T20 star Kieron Pollard slammed Sanjay Manjrekar on Twitter after the former India cricketer allegedly called him brainless during commentary, and the cricket world is divided over the role of commentators. Here's a quick report.
The war of words between Kieron Pollard and Sanjay Manjrekar has once again stirred the debate that aren't the commentators allowed to express their opinions. Pollard received some strong criticism from Manjrekar during the match against Kolkata, but the West Indian all-rounder too gave it back to the former Indian batsman. Manjrekar, while commentating, said, "When I look at Pollard, I look at him as more a 6-7 overs left in the innings batsman. Whether he'll be able to bat at number 3, does he have the range as a batsman? I don't think so." The comments did not go down too well with the West Indian all-rounder, and after the match, in a series of tweets, Pollard blasted Manjrekar. The 29-year-old tweeted, "You feel any positive can come out of your mouth because you get paid to talk. You can continue with your verbal diarrhea." The West Indian followed it up with another tweet which read, "Do you know how I get big so about Brainless? Words are powerful. Once it leaves, you can't take it back. Sins of parents fall on." And allowed Manjrekar to finish that sentence. The Twitter war between players and commentators has become a regular practice these days. And more often than not, it's the men behind the microphone who are at the receiving end. Harsha Bhogle, who is missing from the commentary box during international matches these days, is out for similar reasons. The renowned commentator was reportedly ousted by BCCI as he spoke his mind on air after India narrowly defeated Bangladesh in the World T20 last year. His views received a strong backlash from many senior India players. So are the commentators not allowed to express their opinions, or they are there to just read out the action happening on the field? Sports Bureau, India Today.
Now, before we move ahead, let's quickly listen into what Manjrekar actually said during commentary about Pollard. In this chunk, we cannot hear Manjrekar using the word brainless, but we cannot be sure whether he did or did not use the term at some other point during commentary. Now, most other publications have quoted Manjrekar as saying Pollard does not have the brains to play early in the innings, but let's quickly listen in. Now, Pollard was obviously informed that the word brainless was used by Manjrekar, as the West Indian took exception to the term and launched an attack on Manjrekar on Twitter. Pollard tweeted, and I quote, "You feel any positive can come out of your mouth because you get paid to talk. You can continue with your verbal diarrhea." He continued saying, "About brainless, the term, words are very powerful. Once it leaves, you just cannot take it back." Let me bring in our guests on this discussion. Deep Dasgupta, former India cricketer, is live with us. Deep, coming to you first. Now, we are not sure whether Manjrekar used the term brainless or not. Now, obviously, Pollard took exception to it, but just explain, when you were playing, had someone used such a term against you, how would you have reacted? Would you have sided with the commentator, or would you have defended yourself?
Listen, during my playing days, didn't have social media, so that's all right. So didn't have a platform to say much. Now, obviously, the players have a platform, but now as a commentator, that's what I do. I commentate. So, listen, where does it stop then? I mean, if you expect the commentators to just call the game, that is not happening. Obviously, the commentators are there also to give their opinion. And there is nothing wrong in giving an opinion. If that's what Sanjay feels about Pollard, that's fine. That's his opinion. And listen, that's, as a player also, you just move on, because that doesn't make him good or bad. That's an individual's opinion. Yes, what you can say is Sanjay used the word, does he have the brains to play in the top order?
Right.
Maybe he could have used a better word like temperament or something like that, you know. So that's the only thing that I can say in that comment of Sanjay's. But apart from that, it is, I think it's uncalled for the way it plays, or for that matter, Kieron Pollard has reacted to Sanjay's opinion. I mean, that's what he's there for. He's there to not just talk about the game, but also give his personal opinions. And he's got every right to do that.
All right, Deep, I'll tell you who disagrees with you. It's the most successful spinner who's ever played the game. Former Sri Lanka spinner Muttiah Muralidharan stands firm along with Kieron Pollard. In a chat with India Today's Rashesh Mandani, Muralidharan has questioned Manjrekar's views, saying how can anybody question Pollard, a man who has scored more than 7,000 runs in T20 matches. Listen in.
The debate is whether sometimes players, when they are spoken uncomfortably by commentators, they look to bully the commentators. Is that right?
See, I think it is both parties, right? Not only from Kieron Pollard. I think Sanjay would have not commented in public whether he's not suited or not. Is a criticism, no? So you can't criticize openly and say he can't, because he has got 7,000 runs in T20 form of the game. So how can somebody got 7,000 runs doesn't fit into the top batting order? So it's a harsh words, and his opinion and way to respond. He also can respond in the way, because I'm good enough. I got 7,000 runs. And how could you say that I'm not fitting for, and I have played for 10-15 years of 2020 cricket. I'm one of the most important players in Mumbai setup. So it gets hurts also players. So where you comment is most important. When you do something wrong, shots or anything, if you're criticizing, that's okay. But you can't criticize on a person on his career and say he's not fit to play or he's not fit to do this. It's unfair for by the player.
Can't a commentator have an objective view? Is there a counterpoint?
Yeah, can say if he's given his word, and player can counter attack him, because he's done it and he can show his performance. How could you? So that's the way it would happen. That's the thing. It's rather than the media is taking too far on it, and just leave it.
Sports editor Vikrant Gupta and our consulting editor Boria Majumdar are live with us. Vikrant, coming to you first. We heard Muralidharan there saying that while commentators are free to comment on the game, even the players are free to defend themselves if they feel a term has been used harshly against them, against their character. Whose side are you on?
I'd go with Deep. I think in earlier times you didn't have social media, so the players could not have reacted the manner that Pollard has. Right. What wrong has Manjrekar done? I think he's well within his right to say what he feels. It's just that the choice of word brainless on air was, I think,
Vikrant, the term we are discussing over here is the use of that term brainless. I'm sure Manjrekar is a very accomplished cricketer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Shobhit, that the term brainless on air is probably what falls in the grey area. But at the same time, if you go back a few years, I think 2004 or 5 it was, Sir Geoffrey Boycott said something about Virendra Sehwag. He said, I like the way Sehwag bats because he leaves his brains back home. Now at that time Sehwag did not react, and at that time, because it was Sir Geoffrey Boycott, so everybody just stood quiet. I mean, yes, we also criticize our commentators for sugarcoating, as Deep said.
Absolutely.
Do you expect your commentators to just go there, describe ball by ball, and that's it? You would also want them to be objective.
Absolutely.
Even though, yes, Manjrekar can apologize and say, yes, the term brainless on air isn't what I intended to, and I'm sorry, that's it. Let's move ahead.
Absolutely. Let's quickly take a look at a reaction from former India cricketer Nikhil Chopra, who could not join us on the show today, but he has expressed his views on the controversy. Nikhil said, and I quote, commentators should feel free to express their opinion, bring critical analysis and entertainment to the game. They, however, should refrain from making any comment that maligns a cricketer and his image. Boria Majumdar is live with us. Boria, the most likely example I can cite over here is Dean Jones. Well, he was sacked for using the word terrorist to describe Hashim Amla. Well, he was sacked. This is not such a harsh term over here, right, clearly, but Pollard has taken exception to the term brainless used by Manjrekar.
You know, I think it's an unfair comparison. I mean, if you use the word terrorist, you should be sacked forever.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. I mean, if you call Hashim Amla a terrorist, you are not even a commentator of any relevance to me. What Sanjay Manjrekar has said, and I'm with Deep and Vikrant entirely. You know, Muralidharan was making this point about Pollard playing 15 years of cricket. You know, in 15 years, if somebody only plays T20 cricket, of course he will get 7,000 runs. You know, Kieron Pollard's job here is to go out there and perform and win a few matches for the Mumbai Indians. When is the last time he's won? People have forgotten. If he does that to perfection, Sanjay Manjrekar will not use these words. The commentator's job is to opinionate, to give an opinion, and then to try and sort of give his viewers the best analysis of the game. I think Sanjay is absolutely right. Kieron Pollard saying verbal diarrhea, for God's sake. I mean, what verbal diarrhea? He has analyzed your game to his opinion. If you are going ahead and doing this, I think this is an act of bullying. I think Mumbai Indians should take notice. I think the Harsha Bhogle thing has emboldened the players. Akash Chopra, Danny Morrison, these instances have emboldened the players and they're taking it a bit too far.
Absolutely. Deep, I think the bigger question over here is that organizations who hire these commentators like the BCCI or the IPL, the question is whether they should have any rules and regulations for the commentators or whether they should give a free hand to the commentators. Over here, the question is the fight between commentators and players. Should commentators just, restrict themselves to not harming a player's image and they can be free to criticize a player for his cricketing abilities?
No, listen, nobody says anything about personally. I mean, nobody has ever criticized a player for what he is. It's always about the action. It's always about the performance. I mean, listen, when I was playing, a lot of things were spoken by a particular commentator about me personally, but that is wrong. But this is what, I mean, we are there as commentators to give our opinions about or analyze the game. So if you're going to stop doing that, it's going to be really, I mean, it's going to be colorless then. And that's not something that anybody would want. As far as you're talking about associations and boards and all, see, nobody says that. I mean, I've worked for BCCI, I'm working for other channels as well. Nobody comes up and says, okay, these are things you can, these are things you can't. Yes, you've got to refrain yourself from certain things which you shouldn't be talking about on air. But generally speaking, I haven't come across of late too many commentators who make personal comments.
Right.
It's all about the sport, it's all about the game, and you are analyzing the action out there. And listen, if you go, it's an audio-visual medium. Everyone can see a cover drive, right? You don't need me to tell you what a cover drive is or how that cover drive was played. You need me to tell you what was the technical side of that cover drive.
Absolutely.
And that's where opinions come in.
All right.
So if you're going to stop me from making my objective analysis of that shot, I mean, it's gone then. Then there's no need for commentators.
All right. Thank you so much for your comment. I'd like to thank Deep Das Gupta, Vikrant and Boria for joining us on this chat. Let's quickly move on. Good news for all cricket fans who have been missing Virat Kohli in the ongoing IPL season. The Bangalore skipper hit the gym today and is eyeing a return in the next match against Mumbai. This is what Virat posted on his Instagram account. Let's take a look. In the big match today, Team Pune will lock horns against Delhi in their backyard as Zaheer Khan-led side will look to open their account in IPL 2017. With one win and one defeat in two matches, Stephen Smith-led side will look to get back to winning ways. That is the Pune Supergiant against Delhi in their home ground. Now, Pune won their opening game against Mumbai but lost their next game against Punjab. Delhi, who blew their chance of a win in their clash against Team Bangalore from being in a winning position in their tournament opener, will be hungry to register their first win of the season. Zaheer Khan-led side has played Pune twice, winning one and losing once. The match between Pune and Delhi will start at 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time at the MCA Stadium in Pune. Time for a short break now. More news from the IPL right after this short break.